Marcela. This is my second semester here, so I have like about a year left, and I do have a car, but it's back home.
I'm Luis, I'm a freshman, I have a car, and I live here, and it's here.
Cool.
My name is Lorena. This is my last semester, last year here.
Last year?
I owned a car, but I don't anymore.
Okay.
My name is Eduardo. I'm second year. I'm a PAL, and I don't have a car, but I usually always drive.
Cool. Thank you. So the reason why we're all here today is because of a marketing class that I'm taking, marketing research, with Professor Petrosky. And for this year, we are going to be researching college students and buying cars. What I'll be focusing more is on the price of cars. So I'm gonna ask you a series of questions, just answer honestly or whatever you feel, whatever comes to mind, answer truthfully, answer yourself. There's no right or wrong answer, and there's definitely no wrong answer. So I'll get started. In regards to cars, car buying, can you describe the perfect car for a college student?
Do you mean like features-wise or like a specific car?
Anything.
Okay.
What would a college student drive, like a perfect car?
Okay, well first I imagine it to be very reliable because you shouldn't have to be worrying about the cost of other things while being in college. So like if you get a car that's very unreliable, you're just gonna have constant breakdowns and stuff like that, so you have to worry about all that. So reliability should probably be one of the first things.
Reliability, okay. Can you just,
Oh,
yeah,
sorry. No, that was, well, it has to be good on gas,
good on gas.
especially because it's what, $4 now?
It's $4.
Yes, yes,
Four.
pushing forward in the valley. So it could be more elsewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, obviously that would be a huge factor since we're all on a budget.
Uh-huh.
So
Budget friendly.
I think it'd be like a like a used car. It wouldn't be something that's brand new.
A used car, okay. So not a brand new car. So regarding that, why is it a used car and not a brand new car?
I think like the amount of payments. If you do, I can't think of like what it is, but like when you buy a car and you have to like make those payments, they usually like the newer the car, the higher the payment usually.
Okay, so college students are financing the cars and it's like a monthly payment. Gotcha.
it's not just that, there's the insurance too.
Yeah.
Because the new car, you're gonna be paying more insurance than if you're getting a used one.
Ah, yeah, that's a good point. So there's both car payment and insurance payments. Okay.
What about maintenance?
Maintenance?
Maintenance stuff. Wouldn't that cancel it out at the same time? If you get an older car, then you
Well,
have to.
it's not like you have to get like a super old car. You can get like something from like 2012 is way cheaper than like something from like 2016 or like 2018 or something like that. It's just like as progressively you get like more and more behind, there's usually like more part availability, and the cost is usually lowered a lot by each model year you go down, especially when there's a shift in the style. It goes down a lot.
So can we talk about that a little more? Are you saying the cost will go up as the years we progress towards the future, or as it goes down?
So the older the car, the cheaper it is to buy at that time, but like even like a car from 2015 is a lot cheaper than a car from 2018. It's just because of they depreciate a lot faster than other things. So,
Okay.
Is it something like the cost to like replace a part or something? Is like what I think.
As another factor.
Well, it's like the cheaper cars or like the older cars, their parts.
more circulation.
some-
It's just
They're just like cheaper to buy.
it's
And
usually
so-
it depends obviously a lot by car, but like there's just
Yeah.
like when it's like let's say like a Honda.
Okay.
A Honda is a very common car, so if you get like a Honda that's like from some model year, there's usually variations between what like sometimes they're better than the others, and usually when it's like a really good model year, there's a lot more part availability, which lowers the price down a lot compared to one where it's like not as good.
Gotcha. So why don't we take all of everything we just said and describe the perfect car for a college student? It would be in terms of reliability, right?
A reliable, high mileage, not.
I would say domestic car.
Domestic car.
Well, I don't.
Cause I mean, like, you're trying to buy a BMW, even if it's
Okay,
used,
okay,
the
no.
parts for that.
That's true, but cause okay, a lot of Asian cars are very cheap even
Oh,
compared
that's
to
true,
domestic.
that's
That's
true.
why. So like it's either Asian or domestic. You don't really go European.
Oh yeah, there you go, there you go. Yeah, that's
So-
that's where I was going.
So it would have to either be Asian or domestic, like a Toyota
Yes.
versus. There
Yeah.
can't be any other manufacturers like Germany or.
No.
Usually,
Cause-
usually there's a lot more expensive parts with those.
Okay. Reliable, high mileage. So there's really no other cars that outside of the U.S. and China or Asia that we can think of.
I don't know cars like it.
Okay.
I'm thinking because like the main areas are usually like Asia, and then America, and then Europe, and more specifically like Germany and all that.
Cause there'd be like Volkswagen, BMW, like
Mercedes,
all those. Yeah,
all
those are
that.
like but those are way too.
Even I guess even then you wouldn't go like luxury brands either, because like in Asia there's like Lexus and all that, they're Asian. Other brands, I forget which ones are also based in Asia. So it's usually like the more common ones like Toyota, Honda, all those.
So let's take some of these. Can you describe the ideal price a college student will pay for the car?
Are you talking about new or used here?
What's something a college student would pay? Some college students may buy used, some may buy
Okay.
new. What's the price for that?
I'd say from like 2 to 400, like 4,500 for a used car.
Around 5,000 max.
$1,000 max.
Around here.
And even that's kind of pushing it for
Yeah,
me.
it's like.
Cause I bought my 97 Honda Prelude with 117,000 miles for like 1,400, and it runs strong. So I mean,
A lot of
you know.
90s cars are very cheap and reliable.
yeah, I have a good car.
What about you guys? What's the perfectly priced college car?
I think when I bought mine it was like 3,000.
3,000.
So maybe 3 to 5 or something.
I think less than 5K.
Less than 5K?
Yeah.
Now, I noticed that all these prices were for used cars. If a college student were to maybe buy a new car, maybe most likely with the help of their parents, what would that price look like? Can you describe that?
See, I don't even I wouldn't even consider the new market. Or
Yeah.
are you talking about like new, like brand new model year, or like new as in like 2017, like?
Yeah, we can
Okay.
count that, like maybe
Okay.
close to zero mileage.
Even then, like I would still not just wouldn't consider it. Like,
Yeah, cause even the
okay.
cheapest one is like what,
It's
more
all-
than 19,
yeah,
I would say it's about like 20 now for.
it's
Yeah,
around
that's why.
20.
and that's like a full year for me of like tuition and like housing.
Yeah,
So.
so that's interesting. You compare a car purchase to your tuition.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, like it's a whole year a whole year. So like, what's more important, like the car that just kind of like needs to get me back and forth, or the whole year of tuition?
Yeah, cause just housing is like 10, and then 4 and 4 for tuition plus everything else it comes up to 20. I would much rather just buy a used car and then not even deal with a new one.
That's true. Yeah, that's a really good point. So you guys mentioned, I noticed the highest price was around 5K, no more than 5K. Is there any other features of the cars that would maybe push you to make more than 5K payment?
I can't think of it.
No, dude, I can't either.
Like,
Cause as long as it goes, then I'm fine with it. Like if it comes with seat warmers, okay, well then that's a plus. But like I just need it to move
From A
and
to
to
B.
work, yes.
So what do you mean, like if like there was a feature like EcoBoost?
Yeah, like Eco Boost or really good safety features on the brakes, or you know that thing where
if you okay, like I feel like it would be even then it would be better to get like a car that's like $3,000 and then like spend if the max is like 5,000, spend another 2,000 on brakes and all that like upgrades separately than buying a car, because even if they are better, aftermarket parts are usually most likely going to be better than the stock parts that a company would put in. So if you buy a car that's for 3,000, it's probably better to spend like let's say 2,000 on extra features or reliability stuff that you might want than to buy a car that's for 5,000 and have the stock features that come with that car.
Gotcha. So you're saying that with the extra money, you would rather save it in case something else happens, or get the stock features?
Yeah, or like upgrade the stock features.
Just upgrade it yourself.
Yeah.
Gotcha. What about you guys? Is there any features that would push you guys over your budget?
Can't see where you're coming from, but like buying the features, because you could like, if you wanted a backup camera, you could buy it separately now. If you want like radar detection, it comes in separately as well. So we can modify like cars and things like that, but it'd be like if you're trying to buy a new car, then one that like already comes with them, they'd be like, alright, like what we're saying, like, oh, if your parents can help you out and get a new car, like 20K, and it comes with those features, then
Yeah, it's a plus.
it's a plus.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you can't, then just go for the cheaper model and just upgrade your car type thing.
Gotcha. Okay, how about this? What are some financial features, or what are some financial situations a college student would have to be in to be able to purchase a car?
I assume we're talking new car here. Or
yeah,
just car in general?
Any car, yeah. Car purchase, like, what would make them consider even buying a car, even though they have a bunch of tuition to pay?
I guess if they, at least in this campus, I guess if you consider going home a lot and you live at least a relative distance away, and it's better, I guess, for you to drive back instead of like having someone pick you up or go by some different form of transportation.
Mm-hmm.
I guess there's that.
So like a need
Yeah,
to
like a-
actually
yeah.
use the car. What about you guys?
What was the question again, I'm sorry?
So what are some situations, a financial situation a college student would need to be in order for them to go out and consider spending up to 5K for a college car?
You mean like working?
Yeah, working, maybe a financial need,
I think anybody
just anybody.
in need or anybody who has money, legit, because if you're trying to like pay off your tuition, you're gonna need a job. And then if you want like transportation, like you're not gonna be relying on like the bus or your friends to drive you there. Like you're gonna need a car and you're gonna have to make those payments part of it. In order to like be able to pay for your tuition and for like the car as well and other things. And like I was just saying, like I have friends that like live in that like are from LA that bought cars specifically just to go back and forth whenever they had to. Instead of like being on the train or being on the bus for like 6-7 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why.
So, have you driven back to LA, or do you?
Yeah.
So when you drive back to LA, what's usually the gas price to go back versus maybe like a train ticket?
Usually like back and forth I spend like $80,
$80.
and that's because like the car is newer,
Uh-huh.
so like it has like better mileage
Yeah.
systems in order to go back and forth. And then like usually like a ticket on the Amtrak is like $90 as
46.
well.
No.
96.
Mine was round trip when I went back to LA. It was like 46.
46.
46.
I bought it for like 35, but then I went to like Modesto, so I had to pay an extra 11 to like go back.
Yeah, 45.
But that was my mistake. But that was like
That's
it was like
like-
$40
Uh-huh.
basically for a round trip.
Yeah.
I always heard it was like $80, like there and back at least, and then about the same to like fill your tank to get back down there.
Yeah.
So it's like same price but different time
Difference.
range. Yeah.
Exactly.
It takes like 8 hours on the train
Yeah.
versus like
Like,
4.5 to 5
yeah.
on a car.
Yeah.
You got your own convenience.
So So there's obviously when you're driving that long down to like LA and stuff, there's time, and we've all heard the term time is money. What's more worth it to you guys? Buying that car and driving down to LA yourself, or just saving half a ticket price and just purchasing a steering ticket?
Not even for that, like just being around here. Like even though we're in college, like we still we get around, and like it's convenient that we have like free transportation on the bus. Like across the street, like we just show them their ID and like they could take us anywhere around Tulare. At the same time, it's the time, the effort of trying to go there. The thing that instead of just like having your car, you just go up to the parking lot, just drive there, come back.
Right.
And if you go get groceries or anything like that, then like you got the bags, the
not like a 3-hour
the
trip.
hassle.
Uh-huh.
And instead of a 5-minute trip, just going down to the store, it turns like a 3-hour trip. It's like,
Yeah.
Takes me like an hour just to like get on the bus, go to Walmart, pick up my groceries, come back, wait for the bus, come back here. It usually would take like
Oh,
20 to 30 minutes, like
yeah.
half. Right?
Especially if you're going with somebody too, that may even take longer. You gotta wait for them and all that.
yeah. So it's just convenience wise.
Uh-huh.
Because at the end of the day, you don't need a car for college. You don't need a car for anything. But it's just the convenience and the time of your saving, of like
Uh-huh.
just having the benefit.
So you're saying we're paying for the convenience.
Exactly.
Gotcha. Okay. Can we go back?
Oh,
Yes,
let's
sorry?
see what their opinions were.
Yeah. What did you guys say about it?
I think it's really summed it up well, actually. Like, with everything.
Say that one more time.
I said I think they summed it up pretty well.
In terms of.
Like, you don't really need a car, but the convenience and time saving is like beneficial to do other things.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, let's say you guys are saving all this time from shopping, driving to LA. Now, is $5,000 the right price tag? Upwards to $5,000, is that the right price tag to put on buying your convenience?
Okay.
But it's just not the 5,000 though. It's gas, it's paying for the parking permit here, that's like 200, which I could use that for like, literally like the whole year's worth of groceries. It's paying for gas, it's trying to find parking here is like easy, I've seen. But it's just little added things that some people might not have the money for, like me, for example.
Okay, so it's when you're purchasing a car, you don't look at just how much you're willing to spend. You're looking at how much you're willing to spend in the future
Exactly.
as well.
It's not just like gas, it's registration, like she said, parking permits. If you take it by chance and maintenance issues, like it just different little things.
Gotcha. Now,
Car fresheners. I mean, it's like little things that you buy, like it all adds up. So it's not just
yeah,
the 5K you can kind of potentially spend more.
yeah, that's true. Question about how much you guys are willing to spend per month then. When you guys were to purchase a car, what's the highest you guys would spend monthly on everything, including paying the car, maintenance on it, parking permits? Is that easy thing to do, to price it out?
No, we would need to
No,
like.
not
You need to
write
get
it
a
down.
sheet.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a sheet.
yeah.
Yeah, you're right about that. Let's skip that question. Okay. So let's say you're introduced a car. It's under budget, maybe 2.5 to 3K for you. And there's really like a few things not right with it.
Not right with it?
Yeah, maybe the brakes or the stereo, versus pushing up to a 5K car, and you see that like almost everything's right with it. Which option would you guys go with?
Wait, can you repeat it? What's it?
Yeah. So first car is kind of under budget for you, 2.5, 3K maybe, but you see like maybe there's something not right with the car. You may have to do a little maintenance on it laterwards.
What do you mean, like?
Could be the tires, could be the brake.
Alright, sure.
And there's a 5K car and you see, okay, I think everything's looking good. Which option would you guys go for?
The two.
Yeah, I like cars with a little character.
Is it a little?
Yeah. Well, at least my older car was like she was a little interesting. So like I had to like reach over and unlock someone's door. Like one of the back windows didn't work. Like it was just
Yeah.
yeah.
It's just,
But
just
I mean,
little
like-
things that add to your life, huh?
yeah. But I mean, I got used to it over time. Like I mean, it's nothing like too crazy. I mean,
Uh-huh.
towards the end, I had to give her like some breaks. Like getting out in the car would not turn on eventually in the middle of the street and the freeway and whatnot. So like, you know, at that point.
Wow.
But I mean.
Now, did you
That's
wish you had
different.
paid a little bit more at that point?
I mean, she gave me like couple years so I could like use the car. So
Okay.
I mean, it depends. I think on the like how extreme I guess the like what's wrong with the car.
Yeah.
If it's little things like the window can't roll down or anything like that, like that's not a big deal to me.
Right. Because it's not safety.
Yeah.
It's just inconvenience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Safety over inconvenience.
No, what she was saying is with the whole, like, it depends how long term you're gonna need that car for, because like, what, you're gonna have that car, but how long do you intend to have that car?
Mm-hmm.
So if it's like minor inconveniences like the window and the door thing, it's like, I'd rather take the cheaper car, but if it's like more serious issues, like, there's gonna end up costing more, I'd rather just go with the more expensive car, but if it's like
Oh.
minor things, just cheaper.
Okay. It really comes down to if it's risking your life or not,
Yeah.
those inconveniences. Okay. You think they summed it up pretty well, or would you like to add?
I mean, I don't agree with Luis in a way. Like, I would still go for the cheaper one, like, regardless if there's little inconveniences. Like what she said, like, unless it goes,
I
like-
agree with you, if it's like little inconveniences, yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
if
it doesn't
it
matter.
has to do with safety, then I'd rather still spend less and then get it fixed
Okay.
than pay the 5,000.
But what if like what if the fixes constantly snowball into more fixes? Because there's already issues with the car.
Yeah.
When you're buying it, I feel like you're gonna have to constantly have to maintain that level of, okay, not everything's falling apart.
So like it starts with the water cooler and then goes to the radiator and then to the engine and then like to other things and it just keeps on adding up
And your
and adding up.
transmission's out and
And
Keep
then
in mind,
cars are junker.
there's no wrong answers. You guys are making some really convincing arguments, but
I would say that like if like
Yeah.
it doesn't take that much to fill up your tank, then you have that like leftover money that you could use like to spend on your car, maintaining it and whatnot.
and I want to encourage you to stick with your original opinion. Tell us more about
And
about
No,
why.
like, I'm just
We're not
saying,
against
like, again, like, I'm just thinking money-wise, like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
if I could just put like 500 into a car or even 1,000 when it costs 2,000,
Uh-huh.
I'd rather do that than spend 5, because I know for my financial situation, 5 is not even close to being an option.
Like I agree with that, but it's like if you don't have to be like, oh, I'm gonna have this car for like this long or whatever, so I'm gonna spend this amount of money. It's like not everyone has that amount of money to spend, so like if the car is like literally not a death machine, why have to put yourself in that greater financial burden if you don't really need to?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Some really good points. I'm glad that discussion came up about where you would rather put your money into a car that's already working or something you want to fix up. So how about this? We described earlier kind of like the perfect college student car. Some interesting thoughts were that it had to be Asian and domestic, 2.5 to 5K, 90s car. Does everybody agree that it has to be a 90s car?
no.
I wouldn't say that.
There's,
Yeah.
You
I
get
would
a
say up
cheap
to the
car
year.
from like 2015 and back, like
Yeah.
Even 2015 and back.
2015. Because I've been checking out cars.
Yeah.
You know, depending on the
I would
car.
say like 2007 maybe.
No, like 2010,
Because even like
around
what,
there.
2007 Honda Civics are around like 3 to 4,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
so it's still not bad.
For like a Suburban, I was checking it out like a week ago. It was like a 2001 Suburban with like less than 100,000 miles, for like 2K.
Whoa.
The gas on the
In good conditions, on like
Whoa.
the inside, and the engine was rebuilt and things like that.
Uh-huh.
Like that's actually like pretty worth it. The engine's rebuilt, and like with the like just because it's a Suburban type of thing.
Okay.
And then I've seen like Honda Civics from 2015. They're like shitty as fuck, mistreated, but they still run. They still gotta do what they gotta do, and like
Yeah.
legit, like it's worth it type of thing.
Okay.
for 3K or 5K. It's like,
Cool. So it doesn't really have to be in the 90s. It could push up to the 2000s.
yeah.
Okay. So I'll add that in.
Do you also keep the option of like salvage cars?
Yeah. Anything.
Because salvage cars like
That's true.
are newer and like they could easy to be fixed. And like
I mean, technically, there would be nothing wrong with them, right? Because salvage just means that
Yeah.
you were in a crash with it.
no, it just means that the insurance company decided to like
It's not worth. Like,
it's not with the repairs.
Yeah.
Mm.
So like it. Yeah. Like, sorry. Keep going.
Oh yeah, you were going on.
Oh no, no. You're gonna say something more actually.
But no, like yeah, like insurance just say like they don't wanna fix it, so they just put it into like salvage titles. But people fix them and people resell them for a bigger price. And like usually like for a newer car, like I'm seeing like salvage place, it's like they get like 2018 cars with like T-bone hits, and all you have to do is like replace the like doors, and like they go on auction for like 10K, which usually the cars are like 30, 40K. It's like a 5K repair plus the cost of the car, and like it's pretty good. For like 15K, it's a brand new car from the year like 2018.
Not bad.
It's like dang.
Okay. So is that something college students think about when they're shopping for cars? I'll
Depends.
Oh,
No,
no.
usually
That,
they
that's
don't
not
think
like
about that at all.
business
Yeah,
the
no.
stuff. That's
Yeah,
Okay.
it depends on the student. Like, if they're
Yeah.
trying to get a newer car, then that's an option. But like, it's not very for everybody.
Gotcha.
Depends on like word of mouth too. So like some people will be like, oh, like go to these places that do repos, and you can like buy from there, or like the junkyard or like tow truck companies. They have cars that like if no one claims them, they'll resell
Yeah.
them or whatnot. Like you don't
Okay.
always hear that. You always just think like Craigslist or like car dealerships or like used car dealerships. Like those are like the main
Right.
ones.
So we're always looking for a cheaper place to buy a car. When we think of like the cheapest place to buy a car, can you shout out one company that comes into mind?
Craigslist.
Craigslist?
Because
Does it have to be a
even your
company?
family could rip you
No,
off.
doesn't have to be a company. It could be any. Yeah. Wow.
No,
no.
Seriously,
Sometimes-
like you make your family be like, oh, like I'll give you 4, and it's like, well, the card has this, and this, and like, all right, 3,900, you know. What I could buy is like off Craigslist for like 25.
Okay. Craigslist. It could be entities too. It doesn't have to be a company. It could be.
I was just thinking like shit off the street type of thing.
Mhm.
Yeah. Like
Okay.
like there's like my grandpa, since like he just does casual auto repair sometimes. There's like a bunch of magazines like in like newsstands that just like have a bunch of cars for like that people like put on like
Mm.
Yeah.
they like personal ads basically like a Craigslist but like just newspaper style like in that town specific.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So a little bit more personal, a little bit more local.
Yeah.
Okay. That would be the cheapest place to find a car.
And even then like you can haggle a lot
Yeah.
with like people like people aren't dead set on a price like a dealership would be
True.
as much. So like if you're like facing them like person to person, like hey, we're gonna meet up on this street or someplace, you can usually haggle a lot more than some
That's
other
true.
place.
Let me go back to describing that perfect car for you guys. So, the insurance should be pretty low. It's budget friendly. It's good on gas. It's reliable. Older parts should be cheaper to buy. You know, parts at least should be cheaper to buy. And you guys mentioned it should be anywhere between 2.4 to 5K. Now, if you guys found a car like that, and it kind of met all these criteria, and you saw it in your local newspaper or Craigslist or friends and family, would you guys go out and buy that car?
If I had need, yeah. I mean, I have my own car right now, so I don't really have to worry about it. But if I didn't have a car, I would be like, I would think about it and be like, okay, in this situation I don't have a car, so I can't visit my family back home. Like, I have the option now to go and do that and go do other things and waste less time. I'll probably do it.
Okay. All things said, you would.
Yeah.
What about you three?
If are we talking about if we're still like living here?
Yeah, think of your current situation right now as a college student.
Not considering that I have a car at home.
Okay. If you
I
didn't?
don't think I would.
No. Okay.
No,
And
even then.
okay. Why not? Because of the.
Because of
just what you need?
financial. I mean, because if anything, like, you know, like, I'm not saying I'm gonna ask you for rides,
Yeah.
but if you know people, you know, and like you guys, oh, you know, I have a Costco card, and like, oh, I know, let's go to Costco.
Uh-huh.
So it's like even then, it'll still be cheaper than, you know, having a car yourself.
Gotcha.
I guess just like knowing people who have cars helps.
Yeah, lifestyle, you make ends meet
Yeah.
different way.
Wow.
Okay.
I mean, I was, still offer to pay for gas, but it'll still, even then, like having someone take you is better than taking the bus, and it's also better than taking an Uber because it's still cheaper.
Yeah, no, that's a perfect answer. Like any perfect college person answer too.
No, it
I was
is.
like, I thought you said there's
No,
no
my
perfect
sis-
answer.
My sister, my
That's
sister
wrong,
did the
yo.
same thing.
All
too.
over, yeah. In terms of her situation,
Yeah.
it's different. Yeah.
My sister did the same, what she was describing with like getting, cause one of her friends lived in LA and going back, crosses through our town and all that, so she would just get a ride from like Davis all the way down there and she would get dropped off, and she didn't have a car her first year, so she just did that instead,
Oh,
and it worked out because,
yeah. We're also college students, so we can.
There's a will, there's a way.
Mm-hmm. What about you guys? All things said, would you guys go out and buy that car?
Yeah,
Like
well,
on the, like first visit kind of thing. Like if you see it and you're like, oh, it's nice, like I'll buy it, kind of
Yeah,
thing.
it met all your criteria, including the price.
Probably,
The criteria that we described here.
yeah. I would have to like wait it out. I think just kind of like look at it,
Yeah.
see it,
Okay.
maybe go back home and like sleep on it, and just like.
Gotcha. Even though it's
Yeah.
perfect, you wouldn't impulse buy it. Great, good answer.
Well, I try not to, but.
Yeah.
When it comes to shopping.
I think I would,
You would? Okay.
because just for being a second year, like I have the experience of like having to struggle and all that. At the
Mhm.
same time, like I already know like what things I'm doing with, and
Yeah.
like it's not just like being part of college, but now I'm at a stage where it's like I need to grow out, I need to like start finding businesses, like start finding like internships type of thing.
Mhm.
So I'm more set into like exploring and like having to like go outside the area too long, even though I'm still in college. So that would be one of the reasons like I would have to get a car,
Right.
because I can't be like asking for rides or like being on the bus, not being just a convenience type of thing.
Yeah, you sound like you're already in the market for it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
Okay.
like I would go for it.
Well, that concludes our interview. Thank you guys. Really appreciate it. Thank you for your time. Hope you guys have some more snacks if you want. Whatever's left.
Maybe I'll